Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 meeting of the Moorhead Public Service Commission to order. Moorhead Public Service Commission, excuse me. Commissioner Mary Daly will be participating in this meeting virtually from 718 Mound Avenue, Mankato, Minnesota 56001, which location is open and accessible to the public during the meeting. Commissioner Joel Paulson will be participating in this meeting virtually from the address of 100 Kanawha Boulevard East, Charleston, West Virginia 25301, which location is open and accessible to the public during the meeting. Moorhead Public Service Commission welcomes and encourages customer input on issues listed on the agenda or of general water and/or electric utility interest, time, and commission permitting. Speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. Customers wishing to address the commission regarding a specific agenda item will be afforded an opportunity during the discussion of that item. Customers wishing to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be given the opportunity to do so under the heading Customers to be Heard and/or Recognitions. Each person requesting the opportunity to speak is asked to fill out a request to speak form located in the back of the room and present it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email on anything that cannot be resolved this evening. Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Daly, seconded by Gilbertson, to approve the meeting's agenda. Paulson?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Daly?
Yes.
Gilbertson?
Aye.
Thompson? Aye. I entertain now a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Gilbertson.
Second.
Motion by Gilbertson, seconded by Baker, to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Paulson?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Daly?
Yes.
Gilbertson?
Aye.
Thompson? Aye. All right then. Customers to be heard. Recognitions, Mr. Schmidt.
No recognitions tonight, Madam Chair.
Old business? Okay. Item number 8, report City Council, Mr. Gilbertson.
So City Council canvassed the election, and you'll have Emily Moore, Sebastian McDougall, Nicole Mattson, and Lisa Borgen as your new council members for starting their term in 2025. And I will be done at the end of 2024.
See you.
Thank you.
Public Service Commission, any updates on anything? General Manager's report, Mr. Schmidt.
Sure, it's that time of year where or that time of the year where we go through our third quarter strategic plan updates. Again, I've got a written update in the General Manager report. I'll let you guys review that. Just wanted to go over some dashboards. Again, overall, budget-wise, from the electric side, we had a pretty good third quarter as well, staying pretty close on load purchase power and sales and things like that as well too. Overall, let's see what else am I got here. Again, overall, from a financial or a customer service standpoint, we're sitting still at that. We are able to resolve all disconnections of 99% before we get to that last 1% that after we get to a disconnection requirement for that. Financially, year to date and for quarter, again, the electric division had another good quarter, quarter 3. Currently, we're sitting at a net position of about 7.7 million compared to budget of 4.3, so we're about 3 million to the good there. On the water side, we're about $50,000 below budget, net position as well too for year to date as well. Not much on the human resource side. It was pretty quiet. We had one one injury that occurred during the third quarter as well. And staff levels wise, we had no new hires and no separations as well too. We've also got some other statistics in there, along with our social media on the water division side. Trying to see where we're at. Again, pump water was, apologize, I wasn't prepared for this one. Overall, pretty good. We did have the hardness started coming down during the fourth quarter of the year, so we're seeing some, actually it started coming down in September in the hardness, so we're actually seeing some less chemical costs from that perspective right now. So as you know, that hardness comes from Lake Traverse, and so that's helping out some of the financial sides of things, hopefully for the remaining part of the year as well too. And then we've got our social media statistics in there as well. So got any questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, I'll just continue on with my report.
Questions for Mr. Schmidt? I guess you can continue on.
All right. Under the Western Area Power Administration final drought adder rate notification, again, on an annual basis, we get a preliminary and a final. We did receive that since our last meeting. They are proposing no changes to what they had in the rate study, so they're still going to see the drought adder come down some, along with their rate increases that they're going to have for 2025 and then again in 2026 as well too. I'm going to have Taylor Holt come up. He's going to speak to item 4 on the report. That is an update on the IIJA grant funding application that we had. So I'll have Taylor kind of speak to that and give an overall report on that.
Good evening, Commission. Taylor Holt, Project Engineer. I think I have already stated previously at another meeting that it was unfortunate our group was not awarded any funding for the IIJA bill, but we decided we should provide a little bit more thorough GM report on it to give a little bit more detail on the findings from the Department of Energy. What we found is there's a little bit of inconsistencies in the feedback, but the main focus was MPS applied for funding for 5 projects, and they all kind of revolved around substation resilience and under the category of substation hardening. Unfortunately, that was one of the highlighted weaknesses of the overall app, so it doesn't really suit us well to try to continue applying for funding through this specific topic of the IIJA bill. We're open to searching for other ways to try and find extra funding for these projects, but it's a little bit discouraging for this part of things. A few other weaknesses that they pointed out was the entire application was so massive that they didn't believe that the group would be able to actually pull off all of the projects over the 5-year period in which the funds had to be spent. But it kind of seems like they didn't understand how many separate utilities were out there, because we all believed that it was easily accomplished based on our standard budgeting processes and capital project budgets. Those were kind of the 2 main points. We did notice a section that they graded us. They gave us the same strength as the weakness for that section. So it's a little bit confusing and kind of feels like they might have had one person reviewing looking for strengths and another person looking for weaknesses, and they disagreed with each other. But beyond that, did I miss anything, Travis? I think there were 3 or 4 major talking points.
Yeah,
But
no,
those were
major
the
talking
important
points.
ones.
The interesting piece is that, overall they wanted large applications, lots of dollars tied together into one application, which is what we did the first go around, and then again the second go around, and it seems like their perspective has changed on approvals and stuff like that. So we'll be looking at other opportunities either through IIJA or other avenues to see if we can seek some funding. Overall, based on last year's feedback we got, adjusted our budgets so that, you know, if we did receive some funding, it wasn't, you know, we weren't expecting to receive it as part of the budget process. It was just an added benefit that we would get to it, and it would lower the overall bonding costs that we would have to go forward with that. So overall, frustrating to not get the grant funding. Again, we'll continue to look for opportunities, but we'll have to make some other decisions based on, you know, still needing to move forward with some of these projects instead of kind of pausing them.
I'm glad you brought up the first round of funding as well, because one of the confusing parts about the feedback on that one is it seemed like they were kind of targeting smaller utilities and targeting distribution systems the first time around, but when they actually awarded the funding, it was to major transmission projects. So it's almost like they didn't follow their same guidelines for the application. The second time around, it seemed like the awards were going to areas of the country that were impacted by hurricanes, because I think the grading was happening around the exact same time as U.S. was hit with those, as well as wildfires. That was kind of the main talking point, and some of the feedback from our consultants said that nothing major happened in this region, so it seems like we didn't get any brownie points from that aspect of things. Are there any questions from the commissioners on it?
I just want to say thank you for the work on that. That must have been a massive project. So to get so little return, other than to, you know, at least you've done some of the groundwork for maybe other things. I don't know if that's the case or not, but.
Yeah, it definitely helps, you know, working with the group and with consultants to definitely take some of that burden off of staff as well too, but we still have to provide input in how we want to approach these as well. So appreciate that.
Yep, and it did cost us a little bit of money, but had we been awarded, that would have been like winning a lottery as far as return on investment goes.
Got to spend money to make money, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
All right, and then final item under the GM report, we did our trunk or treat on October 31st. That happened at the Moorhead State University, Minnesota State University Moorhead campus. We have a couple pictures in the report of Ripple, our water, what do you want to call it? Mascot, there you go. And then Captain Public Power as well too. So they'll be out at the Holiday Lights Parade in December as well. So other than that, that is the rest of my report, unless there's any other questions.
Questions for Travis before we approve the report or accept the report? Okay, I'd entertain a motion then to accept the report.
So moved, Daley.
Second.
Is that you, Paul? Yeah. Okay. Motion by Daley, seconded by Baker to accept the general manager's report. Any discussions or final comments? Okay. Gilbertson,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Daley,
Yes.
Paulson. Paulson? Thompson, aye. Okay. Lead service line inventory and customer notification. Mr. Schmidt.
Yes, I'll have Jake Long. Jake Long and Mark Pritchard have been spearheading this along with other staff. Jake's going to give a report on where we're at with the lead service line inventory and the customer notification. We've talked about this a lot, but we've had some key timelines that we've hit here in the last month or so. So just want Jake to kind of give an update to where everything's at, and we'll go from there. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you, Travis. Jake Long, Water Distribution Manager. As Travis mentioned, this report kind of gives a status update on where we're at with requirements from the lead and copper rule revision. It took effect on October 16th of this year. And this rule revision has mandated all water systems to comply with additional requirements. The update or the report tonight is kind of focused on two of the requirements, which include the requirement of all water systems to inventory their service lines, and then the additional requirement to notify all customers of their service line material and send out letters. So back in mid-August, MPS submitted its current inventory information to the Minnesota Department of Health. And on October 16th, we received a confirmation email from them that they received it, approved it, and they uploaded it to their interactive GIS map. And this map is publicly accessible and can be found on our website and our lead information page, or by visiting the link in this report. As you can see in the report and listed in the table, MPS has approximately 13,400 water services. And due to the ownership of the service lines, they are split and identified as public and private, so it makes the data a little more convoluted and a little more difficult to inventory. But I do like to kind of put it in percentages also, because it's just a little bit easier to kind of get a grasp of. And so MPS has confirmed that approximately 85% of all the service lines in our system are non-lead. 13% require further verification, or they're still unknown, and then 2% have been verified as lead and galvanized. So with galvanized being a very small number. So the other requirement was to notify the customers of this, and that was to send notification letters to if their service material was identified as lead, unknown material, or galvanized. And this notification also included many resources on information on how to reduce lead in drinking water. MPS mailed these notification letters on November 14th, and staff has been busy answering questions via email and phone since customers have been receiving these letters. Some of the more common questions we've received is some of the ownership between public and private, and which one's identified, because some homeowners will have a private side that's lead and the public side has been replaced, and vice versa. And then some other common questions have been, information on how they can get it replaced, and if there's funding and where we're at with that, and then also if requesting to have their water tested for lead. So lastly, we have continued to update our page the best we can on keeping up with this information on our website. So customers can find a lot of information out on our website, so I recommend they take a look at that. And I'll take any questions at this time.
Do we have lead test kits that there is such a thing, so do we have them that we give customers, or?
Yeah, at this time, it's something we need to discuss a little bit further. When we've replaced partial lead service lines within water main replacement projects, we have some that customers can test then. When we have this many unknown numbers, that those number of tests could get
Sure.
pretty high. So the first step is we want them to try to identify their portion of the line, and it's something we have to talk about if MPS wants to provide lead testing kits to everybody, or the state's requirement, right? Or not requirement, but they haven't required water systems to provide that yet. They do provide a long list of accredited labs that will test the water, but the customers need to pay for it. So.
Sure.
Jake, did you talk about and I was probably talking to Lisa there, so did you say anything about how we're going to try to identify some of the unknowns with the AMI project?
No, I didn't. I think I have it listed in the report, but so out of the, on that table, we have approximately 1,200 unknowns that are on the private side, so from the curb stop to the meter, and those we will identify during our AMI project, which will help that number out. And then that'll put that number to basically 0 once we complete with AMI. The other part is the unknowns on the public side, and that requires significant work on digging up, back hydro excavating down, and very costly, and we're still kind of figuring that piece out.
Any questions for Jake? I think this is good material to have available to customers, and appreciate your projects that you've been doing on this, along this line, so.
Thank you.
As the commissioners, if you guys are interested in looking at or seeing those letters, we're more than willing to email them to you so you can take a look at them as well too. They're very informative. Staff did a really good job putting those together. We've seen some other ones and they're not as informative, so.
Great, yeah, that would be good to send out in a, or upload it somewhere so we can take a look. Okay, we need a motion to accept this report of Jake's.
So moved, Gilbertson.
Second.
A motion by Gilbertson, seconded by Baker, to accept the report on lead service line inventory and customer notifications. Discussion? Okay, Gilbertson,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Daley,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Thompson, yes. All right, proposed 2025 budget. That was distributed, we have on our tables.
Correct, yes. Commissioners should have received it either via email or if you're in person tonight, you've got it right in front of you. Elephant in the room, of course, everybody knows that the malting plant is going to be shutting down. And so that has a financial impact on our operations as well too. So once we got the notice last week, again, thank you, Commissioner Councilmember Gilbertson, for forwarding that to me. I appreciate that while I was driving back from Sioux Falls. We did a really good look at this on Thursday and then again up until today, trying to figure out how we want to land this. Overall, as we looked at the electric side, we do not, looking at it from a net position, you know, we don't see, you know, our purchase power cost, of course, is going to go down because we're not having to purchase additional energy for the malting plant, and that really offsets our revenue. So we're going to see pretty much a net neutral position for the electric side, or for the electric rate. So we're still proposing doing a 2% rate increase as we had done in October at the rate hearing. Financially, on the other side, as we look at the water side of things, you know, just looking at that internally and then double checking or verifying with our rate study consultant, Missouri River Energy Services, you know, we were feeling that we were going to be in that 4 to 6 range. So if we wanted to, you know, make sure we covered any revenue losses or anything like that, we would have to do a 4 to 6% rate increase overnight if we wanted to add that to the overall budget. However, you know, we've got reserves. We're in a really good financial position. Kind of soften the blow a little bit. Internally, staff talked about it. We looking at doing an additional 1.5% rate increase above the 4% that was proposed in October at the rate hearing. We're looking to go to a 5.5% rate increase for the overall water division budget. We'll be working to fine tune what those rates actually physically look like, and we'll provide that at the December 3rd meeting. Again, overall, we feel that doing an additional 1.5% above the 4% that we had proposed and forecasted for the next 3 to 4 years will keep us in line with what we need to do and won't be a step adjustment, one-time step adjustment. So that's what we're proposing. Mark Moylan was going to be here was going to provide the update on the report, but he is busy at this point in time, so I get to speak to that. So again, more information to come. Visited with Mr. Attorney Bolger. We don't have to do another rate hearing because we're still in the middle of that. And based on my knowledge and talking with Mark, we have not had any comments, and that period has passed as of, I think, yesterday or the day before. So we'll be bringing more information back to you on the 3rd to finalize what those physical rates are. But overall, we're looking at an overall 5.5% for the water side. Electric will stay at the 2%.
Thank you. Any questions about the proposed 2025 budget? Or the information that we received today? Okay, I'd make a motion then to accept this report on the budget.
So moved.
I have a motion by Paulson, seconded by
Gilbertson.
Gilbertson. To accept the reports on the budget. Any further discussion or comment? Seeing none. Gilbertson,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Paulson,
Aye.
Daley,
Yes.
Thompson, aye. Okay, item number 11, sponsorship request from Spread Your Sunshine for the Joy Project.
Yes, we had a request, or a sponsorship request come in. It's for the Joy Project, or Spread Your Sunshine. Basically, this is to provide a meal, and this would be to the Bright Sky Apartments location in Moorhead for $275, and then an additional $125 to purchase candy canes filled with candy for the kids at that location as well, too. Overall, we did not see a concern with this one, and providing it to the commission for approval. We have about $50,000 on an annual basis where we can do marketing and sponsorships, and we are definitely way below that for this year. So good opportunity to provide a meal on Christmas Eve, and providing it to the commission for approval.
Okay, any questions? Okay, I'd entertain a motion then to approve this sponsorship.
So moved. Baker.
Second, Daley.
Okay, I have a motion by Baker, seconded by Daley, to support Spread Your Sunshine. Discussion? Seeing none. Gilbertson?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Paulson?
Aye.
Daley?
Aye.
Thompson? Aye. Okay. There's no closed session this evening. So be aware that we will be meeting on December 3rd and December 17th.
That's correct.
So we will have both meetings in December. And I'd entertain a motion then to adjourn.
So moved, Daley.
Second, Gilbertson.
I have a motion by Daley, seconded by Gilbertson, to adjourn tonight's meeting. Gilbertson,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Paulson,
Aye.
Daley,
Yes.
Thompson, aye. Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bring
Thank
out your
you.
winter boots.
Stay warm.
Yeah.